Headline in California on September 15th to read that Gavin Newsom has been recalled. Kapelovitz is the new governor. Well, the headline would be Newsom recalled. Kapelovitz, new governor, upsets Applecart. The Applecart of California has been overturned. Uh-oh, you don't want to upset or overturn the goddamn Applecart in California. Gavin Newsom is going to get recalled. Gavin Newsom is going to get recalled. And it looks like Larry Elders is the choice for the Republicans. Who are the Democrats or the progressives? Which one are they going to pick? Do you have a conservative? Do you have a progressive? Do you got a Green Party? Who is going the left? Who is the left going to coalesce around? You're going to have a lot of them who's going to try to say, keep Newsom. You can't do that, Democrats. You got to chuck Newsom out, and you got to get a brand new person in there. Jesus Christ, he lost, what, 1.5 million signatures? They got 1.5 million signatures for a recall. He lost that moment. So it's already within the margin of error. It's already within the margin of error.
Professor Kapelovitz.
All right, first of all, I want to kind of clear up. I don't know if I'm technically a professor. I do teach law at the People's College of Law.
That's Dan Kapelovitz. So Kapelovitz is Green Party. There's two Green Party people, Collins, something, Susan Collins or something, and Dan Kapelovitz. Dan Kapelovitz is a professor of law or some shit. Not technically a professor, he just said, but he's also, I think, a defense attorney. I don't know. Let's listen to... So something about law, he's in the law, he's Green Party. He's Green Party, he wants to nationalize electricity, he's in favor of basic income, he wants Medicare for all, he wants universal health care, which includes dental and drugs. He was in favor of Proposition 186 in 1994. He wants to stop ICE, all cooperation between the state and the federal officials when it comes to ICE, and he wants to end factory farming because he's in favor of animal rights. So, damn Kapelovitz. What are you? Who are you? Just, go ahead and tell us what you think about the factory farming.
I teach criminal procedure, evidence, and I run a criminal defense clinic. What I really do is I'm a criminal defense attorney, and also I work for animal rights legal issues. But yes, I do teach law at a law school. But I think technically you have to be like a tenured professor to be called professor, maybe, but it doesn't matter. I just don't like people, I don't want anyone accusing me of being a false professor. But anyway, yes. And I think I know more than those other two professors that are running. So.
I'm going to see this video, and then they may ask you to a debate.
There you go, Dan Kapelovitz. He's not really a professor, but he is smarter and more knowledgeable than the other two professors. I guess there's 30 or 40 or 50 different candidates that's already in this election, 30 to 40 or 50 candidates. Here's a list, okay? So you got who's all running for the governor of California. Well, you got Leo S. Zaki, Heather Collins, Dan Kapelovitz, Jeff Hewitt, Angel Lynn, James G. Hannick, Kevin K. Call, Michael Lobes, Dennis Lucy, Jeremy Marciniak, David Moore, Adam Papagan, Dennis Richter, Major Singh,
Bring it on, man. But we got to help.
Okay, it's on. You may see more one-on-one debates brought to you live by Yes California.
So you have Dan Kapelovitz, who is the Green Party. He is debating this California secessionist, Louis Marinelli. So Louis Marinelli wants California to secede away from the United States of America. So he's for California only. He doesn't just say, who gives a shit about immigration from foreign nations. He says, fuck immigration from goddamn Oregon. I'm tired of these Arizonians and, Nebraskans and Nevadans and fucking Minnesotans, these goddamn Minneapolis. He's sick and tired of Minneapolis, Minneapolians coming over to fucking California and just trashing up the damn place. So he's for California seceding from the Union. Louis Marinelli. So is that going to be the next governor of California, Louis Marinelli?
You did ask me to debate, not vice versa. Just want people to know.
True. Yes. And I followed the request from Lewis.
All right. So as for California, okay, I'm running for the governor of California. I am against the recall in general, but I want to run as a backup in case to prevent, John Cox, the bear exploiter, and others who think they might win. But if you're really against the recall, you might have heard this guy Tor on your debates who was going to resign. So if you're really against the recall, you should maybe vote for Tor, not for me. Because if I win, I am going to be governor of California. Now the question is California? I guess we're sort of debating whether California should secede from the rest of the United States. And California is kind of like the nation state. I'll agree. It's a huge state, has a huge population. Bigger than many countries. It's supposedly the 5th or 6th largest economy. I mean, it could be a country. There's no doubt about that. I'm not saying it doesn't have the resources or the people or the land or anything to be its own country. I don't think it should leave the Union. I don't think it's realistic that it ever will leave the Union unless maybe, hundreds of years from now, the things,
So there you go. Bombshell report. Breaking news. Bombshell report. Dan Kapelovitz is taking a risk. Dan Kapelovitz says that California, no, he is against secession away from the United States of America. He thinks California should stay with the Union. Now, secessionist Louis Marinelli, he disagrees. Now, Larry Elders, what does he think? Well, he wants a statewide emergency declared for homelessness. He believes in school choice. He's against crime. He's against early release, and he's against cashless bail, and he's against critical race theory. Larry Elders is a conservative black man who is radio host, some kind of radio host or some shit, who seems to be the establishment, the Republican establishment pick for governor after they chuck Gavin Newsom out the goddamn door. So Kevin Pofrath would probably be the leading Democrat. Kevin Pofrath is leading in a lot of polls. Kevin Pofrath, he is in favor of N95 masks, passing out these masks, but he doesn't want there to be a state mandate, but he believes that local mandates, the individual building, the individual house or whatever, that everybody gets to make their own policies when it comes to. He's also in favor of plans such as building a pipeline to the Mississippi River, because all you need is about 4% of the Mississippi River and California's water problems, because California is going through a drought. California's water problems will be settled once they steal 4% of Mississippi's river. He also believes in controlled fires. The forest fires, you do the controlled fires first, so that way it doesn't blaze out of motherfucking control like right now. So that's Kevin Pofrath. Meet Kevin Pofrath. All right, go ahead. Go ahead there, Kapelovitz.
And I was suggesting, if anything, what we should do is partition California into multiple states, maybe 5 states, and that would give us more senators. It would be a little more representative of the population, because you might actually get, there are conservative areas of California, and they might get 2 or 4, or probably, or maybe 6 of the 10 senators if we split it into 5 states. And so if anything, we should do that, because that would actually help Californians, I think, more. Now,
wow, fantastic argument. So Dan Kapelovitz says not only does he not want California to secede out of the Union, what he wants to see is California to break up into 5 different states. That way they would have a greater representation in Congress. They would have more representatives, or they would have more senators. You would get, instead of just 2 senators, you would have 10 senators. So instead of California seceding out of America, he wants California to stay in America, only to break up into 5 different states, have 5 different states, and therefore all the different states get 2 senators apiece. Now California has a bigger say-so when it comes to the United States government. 2 senators, California's all the way on the West Coast. Nobody gives a shit. If you're in D.C., you don't have to listen to California. They're just too far away. What are they going to do? Call you, email you? They're not going to stomp into your office and point in your face and say, you better, goddamn do what we tell you to do.
I don't think we've elected a Democrat for president since '92, and I think in the 80s we've had a senator who's a Republican. So I think it's been the late 60s since we had 2 Republican senators. So I agree, California's more progressive, but I think we should help the rest of the nation become more progressive, because if it gets more conservative, it's going to affect us. I mean, all these things we care about, like environment. If we have 49 states that aren't as environmental friendly, that's going to come into California. So I am against leaving the union, and if I am elected governor, which I think I will be, read my lips. We will not leave the union. I can promise you that. I can guarantee that. Thank you.
So there you go, Dan Kapelovitz taking, a brave stance there. He is not in favor of secession out of the union. Now, let's hear Louis Marinelli. We'll give him, some
2-minute opening statement, Candid Marinelli.
Well, I got kind of confused during the professor's response if I was debating Professor Kapelovitz or Tim Draper, who was the proponent of the 6 Californias idea, a crazy idea to break California up into 6 states. Maybe it dropped it down to 5 now, but I don't think that we should be breaking California up into different states. Although, when California does secede from the Union in our time, I would be in favor of breaking the state up into different states and sort of a federation of sorts, or a union of states within a new country of California that allows for us to maintain the idea of federalism in California, where we would, of course, have a national government based on
there you go.